We're just
Fruit.
gonna wait for what is it? Salade de fruit and Nightmare to get ready to join in this lobby here, which shouldn't take too long. So we got this match hype. Look what we're going into next.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. My heart could take more.
I, I if I went back and checked my heart rate after the Scorch Clams game, holy smokes, I'm gonna do that because it peaked. Like I felt it.
That
Take it
clutch
away
with
for a
the
second while I
inkjet.
look at this.
That clutch with the inkjet during that. Oh my gosh, just the backs and forths. And then as we're getting even further in the bracket, I'm expecting even more backs and forths here between Fruit Salad and Nightmare or Salade de Fruit. Ah, I'm so hyped. I'm so excited. I'm glad to be here. It's a great night.
So I was sitting at about 70 BPM average throughout commentary. Okay, I spiked to 105 during that Clams game, right at the very end.
50% increase.
It was a lot. I'm telling you, I felt my own heart race. So like, oh god, I'm not even playing the game. I'm just commentating this, and that's still how much hype it is.
Yeah. This game gives me heart attacks. We've seen so
Oh
many good
my
plays today.
goodness.
So many shark that T-Tech pick on the same map mode too that we just watched.
Just everything's all kind of breaking it down there. And of course, with the game 5 game being Rainmaker, I was like, oh wow, this could be make or break from one side can just come away and run with it. But we see both teams had quite the time trying to break it past the first checkpoint on that Eeltail game. So that was really solid hold from both. And I think we're going to see literally a similar ideal from both of these teams. And of course, we're going right back into a Rainmaker mode. But we're going to Scorch.
Gorge, Rainmaker, Scorch Gorge 4 years ago. Let's see. There's a lot to say with this map. It's the same in Clamblitz in that you have the 2 entry points. I just believe it's rare to see someone push the Rainmaker over the grates unless they go for the little moonwalk where you turn your back and fire the Rainmaker to get over the uninkable much more quickly.
Yeah, the grates is used more for the frontliners to establish a pinch play for those going for the right-hand side checkpoint, but some teams will end up reversing that and do kind of like a reverse psychology because you have the traditional way and you have the non-way. So some teams will end up like pre-setting themselves up on one side but forgetting to defend the other side, and then they can just go right forth. And sometimes when that's read out, called out, if majority ended up just pushing to one side, the other's free, or if they can just go from that. And especially if that's called out from mid early on, if you can spot all 4 towards the one side, and if it isn't like a ranged weapon that can pick off from kind of like that pillow area up that right side ramp when you're pushing, people can just free walk on the left-hand side. But knowing these two teams, I don't think anyone's going to get a free walk unless if there's a wipe. No.
Very true. Going into game 1, I'm wondering what weapons we're going to see. Do we have any idea? Other than Splash, of course.
You never know. Someone might not run a splash, but I'm not counting on and like not seeing it. But anyway, we're going right into it. I honestly didn't really have any predictions in mind off the top of my head. But
nope, there it is, the splash.
Yep, there's a splash. There was one there, and then
double
there's
machine,
2.
double splash.
We're going back to that's the good old original meta since kind of day one has been double machine, double splash. But we see Roki here is going with the double bomb junior play for Rainmaker on the side of Salade de Fruit.
We already have the original special brawl as Crab comes out on the side of Nightmare. They don't see Sky sharking there. Are they going to be able to survive there? Because they're hanging out under the ledge and no one's acknowledged them just yet.
If anything, I was going to say, I don't know if they'd want to acknowledge it, whether they know it's there, because it's baiting them into the other team. So I find some teams are literally trying to set that play up as well, but because these players are so experienced, they know not to push it right away. Right. There's still sometimes some teams will get locked tunneled into it and still go for it, but you can just see those plays just trying to get set up. So
3 went down on the side of Nightmare, allowing Salade de Fruit to get their first checkpoint.
Yeah, first checkpoint is claimed right away, using those specials to be able to secure that checkpoint. And we see that just these last two specials between the crab and the booyah bomb, just making sure that that ramp gets completely cleared out, with it being outnumbered on the side of Nightmare. But Nightmare here just trying to continue to lock down this ramp, this bubble here, allowing more players to move up a little bit. Bubble does get shredded finally. It looks like the machine got picked off on Stipe there, followed by the other splashdown on the bottom corner. There's a crab making their way on that left-hand side there, but look at the other bucket following up from the right-hand side. Tri-strikes appearing in front of the Rainmaker, but of course they already have lead. They can be a little more patient here, waiting for their teammates to set something up for the Rainmaker to move. We see the machine up top that was causing pressure. There's someone down below, but everybody's moving up, and the Rainmaker saw an opportunity and pushed it all the way up to 27, but it ended up being Nightmare that got wiped, so they can keep on going.
Oh my gosh, they push it all the way to 10, and this is where things get serious. We have two members of Nightmare opening fast, trying to pressure Shark back, but Shark is standing their ground, throwing bombs, avoiding fizzies, and making sure that that Rainmaker stays exactly where they want it. But as they run out of ink, they go down, and Nightmare pops a crab on the right side.
That moment when you unfortunately can't throw another bomb, even though you really, really want to.
It's a broken-hearted.
Yep. Tri-strikes appearing. We see the machine just kind of going forward there, hopping right past that one frontliner. There is a trade happening on the backside of mid there. And we see we're kind of in a neutral state. Both crabs going out. Booyah Bomb following out as well. It looks like the crab on the side of Nightmare did end up falling. And we see the machine and two others from Salade Fruit move up. One getting picked, two getting picked. This machine is popping off right now. Are they going to get
that for the three-piece?
No!
They got the wipeout, and this should secure them checkpoint 1, seeing as Salade Fruit probably can't get in quick enough to prevent it, and there it is. Salade Fruit's going to have to pull out the hard defense. Even though they did push it to 10, it's still anyone's game.
It still is definitely anyone's game. We see that one machine gets picked, followed by the machine on the other team, but there's a lot of pressure being put around. Storm taking the Rainmaker to the side, Squid rolling around this whale definitely crossfiring on them, and they don't have a choice, but they had to go directly into the bomb, and Nightmare here just kind of locking down these corners, but Salade Fruit, they do have a good solid lead here, and they do have the 52's wall to block the narrower path. So Rainmaker in the corner here, they are able to grab it and keep it in the corner. 2 down on the side of Salade. That's 3 down. It's just able to get machine. There it is. There it is.
That is a win on the side of Nightmare for game 1. Holy smokes, that was, again, an Uno reverse at the end there. Salade Fruit got pushed all the way back into their base and just couldn't find their way back in.
They were definitely trying to. They had the resources to. You could see the wall being put out there for safety measure because they knew that members of Nightmare were still there underneath, lurking somewhere, but they didn't know where. So you could see the 52 putting out the wall just to block, to make sure nobody could go up and pressure them. But in the end, Nightmare was still able to get those picks, and Storm there grabbing, keeping the Rainmaker up in play before it even reset. Making sure that some of the resources got used when they pick it up the second time, and then when they got that 3 down situation, it was a home run from there.
That it was. Let's see if they can do it again on Tower Control Undertow Spillway. Whew. This map mode is interesting, to say the least.
Now, I don't frontline much, and I don't play down on the bottom of the zone area of this map, but since you are a person who has these short-range weapons, do you feel claustrophobic in mid sometimes?
Honestly, not, because I love the dam, the way it has those angled sides. It can get you in and out of spaces you're really not supposed to. So while on other maps like Flounder, for example, you have a lot of vertical walls you can just climb up, that dam has the diagonal, just one drop of ink, and you're able to go along the wall and then up and over to the other zone without having to cancel. So it's very convenient and very fun. However, when you do get rushed in that mid area, then it gets claustrophobic, because the next thing you know, there's someone behind you, there's someone in front of you, there's someone over in the mazes throwing whatever the heck at you from a mile off. It's a good map, it's a fun map, and I'm expecting to see another junior to bubble it off, because for checkpoint 2 of the tower, having that bubble would probably make a huge difference.
Yeah, the bubble there kind of blocks off just an entire area, and of course in the way of the tower, but the tower, it just kind of keep it in the side there and just can secure a checkpoint there. For sure, but we'll see if they're going to keep similar things. The crab comps, for sure. Of course, we saw Nightmare just running the double splash, double machine. They definitely want to lock those areas down. They could really do it on this map with that meta comp.
And here we go. See, there's the junior back. And oh, is that Kraken Gal?
52, not the 52, 96 Deco is making an appearance. We've seen so many 52 today that's what was on my mind. But yes, the Kraken is going to be making an appearance here as long as it can go off. But unfortunately, it's the first one to go down on this map. I can see why they picked the Deco. They just want to have that little extra range. Of course, that's kind of what I was saying, how it's kind of like narrow, and why I asked if it was claustrophobic, because that's where the range comes in and can push you in the tight spots. But you did mention that just those arc of spline can really save you. And the junior able to get that trade there with the 52. So pretty nice trade there. We see the 96 getting pinned out by one of the machines. And Nightmare has a pretty solid presence over in this first checkpoint area. It's ticking down. The crab and the strikes happen. We can see Shark and Sky trying to work together on this left-hand side as we're panning over to. As there's a crab coming down over top as well. The machine ends up getting picked. Booyah going over tower just in case. You see Pelu just waiting here, but I believe they did get poked by that burst bomb. They're called out. They know it. They are going to back up for safety and then find another way in.
That they are. Salade fruit starts to make... Oh! Oh, was that the first bomb?
I didn't see what it was, but it was a bomb.
It was the holy first. And Salade fruit starts making their push. Now they have full map control, while only a moment ago Nightmare had it, and they're able to push past the first checkpoint without any conflict. 2 down on the side of Nightmare. And they have no specials ready, while Salade fruit does have a bubble, which there goes tower, second checkpoint. Storm bombs it out and breaks the bubble as quickly as possible, but it looks like Salade fruit might get the... Ooh! I spoke too soon. They went 3 down on the side of Salade fruit.
I mean, beforehand, you weren't wrong when you said that they were controlling Night. So, however, Nightmare comes back. They shredded that bubble pretty well. They were focusing it because they needed to make sure the bubble went down sooner than later to stop that push from going any farther. And you could see that it just kind of left the junior there. So they could easily team up on the junior as soon as the bubble was shredded. And now you see it's just complete reverse situation. Nightmare is now pushing this tower back. They don't have anything in the way. They're going to extend their lead by a few points. Miner here is just dancing on the tower. Does get picked. Does take a couple points off the checkpoint though. Or to break checkpoint, but does reset. Did extend their lead to 20 though. That is a pretty solid lead there. But we've seen Salade Fruit make it back. They just have to be able to continue to get these picks to hold Nightmare back to get a push off again to get that advantage, but it seems like Nightmare is shifting over to where they can get those buckets installed to get those picks, and it ends up being 3 down on the side of Salade Fruit. Make that a delayed wipe as the tower is already back on the other side, and this checkpoint's about to go down.
The GG Booyah is out on the side of Nightmare, and they push it all the way to the end. 1 remaining, and there it is. Game 2 goes to Nightmare.
Oh, 1 second. Pause moment. Okay, resume. Okay.
It's like, okay, there it is. Game 2 secured by Nightmare.
Definitely good stuff there by both teams. I think that's Salade Fruit there. I don't think they got exactly what they wanted. They had that one moment where they finally had that lock on the upper corner there. But you could see that it wasn't particularly what they were fully going for, because I think they wanted to get more out of the 96. But Nightmare did a good job at being able to pin a 96 in most cases, because you could see just 2 members of Nightmare usually always like hunting down the 96. You could see it in the back corners of the map a lot. That was a pretty main target for Nightmare to go after.
Yeah, that it was. And Nightmare definitely made the most of every situation that happened in that round. And it secured them the second win. And let's see if they can keep it up going into game 3. We're at match point on the side of Nightmare.
Yeah, match point for Nightmare. We've seen Salade de Fruit be able to hold pretty well there, and then it comes down to the team fight at who can get the extra picks here. They are able to push each other back. Now, the last time we saw zones on Museum, it was consistent back and forth action. I wonder if we're going to get that here, or if one team's going to get one solid push, and then it might be a little bit of a delay there, not immediate take back. Might be a bit slower on a take back, but it still could be back and forth towards the very end, just not as fast.
And I'm also wondering to see if these teams will push up onto the other side's plat. Because
Yeah,
last
that is
time,
another thing.
the last team we watched won by holding mid and not overextending, while it's perfectly valid to also lock the enemy team in their plat and just watch out for anyone dropping on the far side. So I'm excited to see what strategy we're going to see them employ here.
Yeah, each team has their own way of how they want to play it, and yeah, you were correct. One team just didn't want to fully go up there. They didn't want to risk it. They were just preparing because they knew what was going to happen. It was a consistent pattern that was happening. So as soon as a team came back in, they usually had their resources as soon as they got back to a spot where they could throw them and it would hit objective. They braced themselves for it. And
That they did.
so these teams might do a similar idea, or yeah, if one of them is going to push up and just kind of lock out from there on, or push up and then just kind of go back and stall it. Just be kind of that moving wall from how far they move up, so you can lock out for so long and then move back. We see that Roki's changed to the custom junior this time.
Yeah, excited to see a C Junior with all that torp spam I'm fully expecting out of them.
Something though, even with the torpedoes though, is that with the weapons that Nightmare has, the torpedoes can get shot down relatively easy just because it's majority of the shooters here. And we see one torpedo able to actually go off land towards zone there and explode. Two members are already down on the side of Nightmare. One had to jump out, and we see the 52 just kind of stuck in the corner here, but they are able to kind of move around enough, unfortunately unable to take down the C Junior with them. And someone, I think Sky was up on the other plat already.
Already
saw that
correct.
But the quick retake's already happening. Look at that.
That it is. Salade had the map locked down a moment ago, and now they are down 3 players, and it's a wipeout! Nightmare has wiped them out and is painting up, quickly taking over their plat, leaving no time for Salade to come back in. It's amazing how quickly things turn around on this map mode.
The synchronized jump between the machine and the 52 there was really good. Synchronized swimming in action. There you go. But then they drop off here, realizing like if we stay, what?
The crab from the sky! The sky crab!
It's raining crab!
Holy crab! We weren't expecting that. And Nightmare pulls out their own crab in response and gets shredded by Salade de Fruit. Salade de Fruit goes down 4 players again. Nightmare gains control of the zone and pushes up their plat again, running it back.
That was so good. And even look at how far up Nightmare is. They just want to get these picks and stall everyone from coming back in, but in return, Salade de Fruit is able to get a couple other members as well. We do see it's definitely back and forth. And Nightmare here, even though that they're going in the disadvantage, realizing that they still have zone, by the time they come back in, they can still paint over what's being happened here. So they've had their fun up in the base. They've got a lead down to 30 at this point. Salade de Fruit is in control. The torpedoes are marking out where people are sharking at least, which is a nice thing. The Wavebreaker does appear, and we see Storm getting caught out on the side. We see another going down, 52 going down right in front. Ooh. We see 3 down now on the side of Nightmare. Salade de Fruit just making sure everything's okay. I can imagine torpedoes are being thrown here and there. They're blocking some of the areas back in. And of course, here comes the Tri-Strike to maybe stall. However, the Tri-Strike was destroyed there. And the crab here rolling around, just trying to stay safe. But of course, as soon as it comes back forward, it is destroyed. Storm back down on the right. And we see this is just who can hold zone here. It's still in a neutral state as a Splash is trying to come in as well to paint the zone. The Junior here alongside the Splash putting out a lot of paint, but the Junior ending up having to move to the side. So I think this is going to end up going back in Nightmare's favor. However, in this long run, Salade de Fruit did end up taking the lead. We're going into the last minute and 50 here.
We got a crab, top spinner. Sky's coming back in on the side of Salade Fruit, waiting for their teammates to come in and regroup. This time, it seems Nightmare isn't pushing the plat as fast after what happened last time when they went down and lost the zone and the lead. Let's see how they choose to counteract it. That was a clean booyah. The Sky survived somehow. What a slippery movement there. There's an all-out brawl on the left side.
It really is.
Fighting Shark 3 down on the side of Nightmare, but during that whole brawl, they've managed to take the lead. It's a delayed wipe for Nightmare. And Salade Fruit, while last time they held back after Nightmare pushed their plat, this time, they're going in. They're fighting Nightmare on their own plat.
And the 52, they're trying to just secure that extra wall. They're trying to extend it, kind of got a different way, but they were still able to get that pick around the corner, taking down Pelu there. So we're down to the last minute. Penalty is almost out here. 52's in a nice spot, but someone goes down on zone. Something happened behind the zone. I think someone flanked and got a pick, and Nightmare is able to secure it there. I didn't see who it was, but I think somebody dropped down on the backside there, got that pick on the zone, and Nightmare is able to move right on back in. There is 30 seconds left to go here. Nightmare is in the lead, but there's 3 down. The last one is in this back corner here. Jumps out. Salade Fruit going to hold it here, and you can see one is going back to make sure that no one drops on that left-hand side. You can see the 52 at the ready there on the top. I think the crab did paint it a little bit. They do know that the 52's up there thanks to the help with the torpedo. It looks like the one splash got picked off this time on the drop. Tri-strike appearing. Storm's trying to go for the zone. Another one's trying to go for the zone. It's back and forth. Lead is in the favor of Salade Fruit. And that's game.
Not going out without a fight. Salade Fruit secures game 3. We're now 2-1 going into game 4.
Wow.
I did look over at the chat and I see all the crabs. Yes, it's a crab war.
Like, here we go. The crab rave is happening, people. There it is.
Holy smokes.
Ooh. It ain't over yet, folks. It's over here. There's still lots of matches to come, but we ain't over on this set yet. We're still going. Salade Fruit putting up a fight there towards the end. Had a lot of extra control there. And a bonus there towards the end is how they adapted to the initial flank, right? Nightmare tried that flank strat again towards the end. Salade Fruit was ready for it this time. Stayed there, waited till they dropped, and I don't know if Nightmare knew that that person was there. I think they sharked underneath before they were seen. And they got that pick on the flank just about to drop down. And then they got the 2 members of Nightmare in the corner. There was a trade, but it was still enough to hold it towards there, keep the painting weapons toward the zone, and just solidify it towards the end. So Salade Fruit, they know what they want, how to control Nightmare. They're adjusting to Nightmare. And this will definitely be an interesting one to see on. We're going back to Rainmaker here if they're going to stick with kind of a similar thing here, kind of how they had on the Scorch Clams game. They see how aggressive Nightmare can be, and Salade Fruit even, like, they had the upper hand at the start of the last Rainmaker game, but then Nightmare turned it right back around, got underneath the ledges, those buckets got installed where they wanted to be, and they were able to push forward how they wanted to. And with Eeltail here, we know how crabs like to set up on the bridge, how the buckets have a lot of fall off there. The junior is locating with the wave breaker and the torpedoes to try to help out the front lines, and just to help combat where everybody is sharking from Nightmare.
So much going on, and I'm expecting to see, well, a lot more here at Rainmaker. Like, I'm trying to catch up to my words. I'm so excited to see what happens because, as you mentioned, Salade Fruit has figured out Nightmare, at least in part. Nightmare's gonna have to pull some new tricks out of their pocket if they want to pull one over for this one. Still match point on the side of Nightmare.
Yeah, it's been really solid here, and we've seen Rainmaker Eeltail twice now. This will be the third.
Yep.
And both have been really solid, and like on the last time, breaking through that checkpoint has been the hardest obstacle because teams just have a lock of defense ready for that, and it's just who's gonna grab it and run it and see how many points we can get, if that'll be enough, and just trying to get that extra lead there that could come down to the wire.
Here we go, double splash and double splash again. Actually, one side has 2 V-splash, one side has a Neo.
There's Storm is bringing out the 52 here, so the double machine is not staying on this one. The 52 is appearing on the side of Nightmare. So the difference here being just the machine and the junior here. So one, of course, going for more paint there, but the 52 on the side of Salade de Fruit goes down. One of the splashes on Salade de Fruit goes down. Make that a second splash. It's just the junior left alive at this point in return for 2 members of Nightmare. But it looks like it's kind of delayed there. We see the junior just trying to battle the defenses, is able to actually get the pick. So checkpoint is not taken, and we see a splash trying to pop the barrier here. It is, of course, in a 2 situation there, but of course they let checkpoint fall here so that the rest of the teammates can come back towards here, not going to risk dying to the barrier. The 52 on Nightmare goes down on this side, and we are cruising already at this checkpoint. 2 down on the side of Nightmare, and it looks like Pelu just getting out alive there, able to get a pick in return, making that fall. Trying to go for Shark here, is able to get Shark as well. Pelu popping off here, getting the third. Is that going to be the quad? No, just misses it. Just barely misses it. Roki here is just staying alive with every bit there. Able to, like, the checkpoint defense, and now staying alive from not getting quadded by one person. Let's go, Junior.
Absolutely popping off, putting the custom in custom Junior. 2 down on this, 3 down on the side.
It's just the junior.
Oh, it's a mayhem! Mayhem! Nightmare showing once again that they're strong, and Rainmaker, but Salade de Fruit was able to get the picks at the last second. Nightmare was not able to get the checkpoint. And then they do.
Oh, it was so tight there. Again, just the junior kind of up there. The splash didn't quite get the picks there. But each time in the critical moment, it was always the junior that was the last one alive. I salute to you, Junior. You
ran the hands
solid. Holy smokes.
Upgrade to senior because you killed it. Absolutely. Oh,
that took me a second.
Cheese and rice. That makes us this set goes to Nightmare. GG's.
Wow, and even then, Salade de Fruit putting up a solid fight as well. Definitely had their push moments on Nightmare in the past games too, but Nightmare able to come around and figure out how to solidify out the front lines there, leaving the support, so they're picking off the ones that are more of the threat first in the better matchup there for them, and then getting the last one for last, where they can, like, they have faster like DPS compared to the juniors, so they're leaving that one for last, but the juniors still putting up a solid fight. Was getting trades there in corners against weapons you wouldn't expect them to get trades with, right? And junior there holding up solid though.
Insane to see. But at the end, Nightmare found fruit salad to be yummy yummy. I couldn't resist. I had to make it at least once.
I saw it coming too. I was there, and I was just looking at chat too, and I'm just like, there's gonna be a joke here at some point, so I braced myself for that one.
They proved themselves to be Fruit Salad's nightmare. But they didn't go down without a fight. Excellent work on the side of Salade de Fruit. Like, that zones game was intense.
Oh my gosh. Like, just these past couple sets of the whole night has had their solid moments from our time being on mic. Speaking of our time being on mic, this is unfortunately the end of our time for our block on Squid Junction here. Sherbert, where can people find you? I'm sure they'll want to hear a lot more of your jokes.
You could find me at Always Sherbert on Twitter. Where can they find you, Devi?
Me, you can find me on Twitch at Devi_Duvie, catching all of my silly shenanigans here and there. Twitter at DeviDuvie, and then I've got a few things on YouTube, also Devi Duvie with Hydra criminal content.
You do be getting those Hydra pics.
Exactly. That's why I always tell people when I raid them, it do via raid, you know?
That it do.
But anyway, we will be trading off here. Don't go anywhere, chat. There's going to be a lot more hype games after this if this is what we've been seeing so far. So, we will catch you around.
Bye-bye.
Splatoon Stronghold. A stronghold for competitive Splatoon, providing resources to long-timers and newcomers alike. If you're new to the competitive scene or still figuring out how to join, we have a getting started guide and plenty of other resources to help you in your journey. If you're a seasoned veteran, we still have plenty to offer. You can find and request recordings of scrims as well as participate in our captain forums and find free agents and teams. Our mission is to make competitive Splatoon easily accessible to everyone. So what are you waiting for? Join the Splatoon Stronghold today.